Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. In today's video, I will be talking about how you can improve your aim and in turn improve your KD. So with that all said, let's get right into the video. The first thing that I want to talk about is learning the common angles. You can do this by just playing the game and learning them over time, or you can watch people in the same rank or higher than you. Lots of people will get pre-fired off these common angles and instantly just call people hackers. When they don't know that they're just sat on a common angle. Now this is what leads to people just giving up on the game that they're in, and they'll either just start throwing or they'll just not really care about the lobby that they're in anymore, which personally I don't know why people do, because instead of just being angry you can just learn from this one death that you made. But some people, I don't know, they just get really angry and just can't mentally reset, especially if it happens more than once, because then it's really annoying when you don't know how you're dying. You also need to watch out for drones, and if there is a drone on you, because there is in the new pinging system you can't actually tell if you're being pinged or not, which is a problem. Because in higher play, it's really annoying when you have to watch the kill cam and then realize that you were being Z-pinged out of nowhere from just a random drone. So the second thing that I would like to go over is learning the recoil patterns, as usually people while aiming will focus on flicking and tracking, but it's very hard to actually get good at flicking and tracking if you can't control the recoil of the guns. I personally like to use the gun with no attachments, as it makes it harder, so when I put the attachments back on, it's then easier to control. I also do practice the recoil with and without my attachments on the gun, just because when I do it without, it's a lot harder, and then when I do it with, it makes it a lot easier. So let's hop over into live right now so I can show you how I personally do that. So what I like to do first is I'll just walk over to a random wall, say, well actually not random wall because this one's big enough to see the recoil. So you just want to not control it at all and just let it go up. So this is the recoil pattern. It goes up, right, and then kind of just stays. So what you want is don't stand too close to the wall. I personally don't, because a lot of people stand here and be like, oh wow, yeah, look how good my recoil is, when really you have to stand a decent amount away, just because otherwise it's not going to simulate how a real gunfight would go, because there's no way that you're going to be that close in an actual gunfight. So my recoil isn't the best with Twitch, as I've only really started using her over the past few weeks, so I haven't really done this much with her. But what you want to do is just ping and say get 15 meters away, shoot, and then say get 20 meters away. Practice your recoil and say get 25 meters away. And you just want to keep on going further back and further back. You then want to try and control it a bit closer up. So say we'll get here, we'll get say 10 meters back, and just try and control it. So I'm not the best at controlling it without the recoil, without the attachments on even, sorry, not recoil. As you can see, I'm pretty bad, especially these sights as well. I really do not like the iron sights on this gun. But it's decent, so now I'll quickly leave and put some attachments on and then show you how I do that. So now I have my attachments on the gun, so if I just go back over to this wall, the recoil won't be as big, as much. See, it didn't do that little side thing as it did before. So now I'm just gonna, so it's a lot easier to control this recoil with all the attachments on now, as that's what the attachments are meant to do. All the attachments are personal preference, with the muzzle brake and compensator and all them, with the barrel attachments, as they all do different things. I'm pretty sure Flash Hider, it controls the vertical recoil, it makes it easier to control it. As you can see, it's less spread out vertically, The commentator, I think, does horizontal recoil, I want to say. Don't quote me on this because I'm not 100% sure. So really just use all the attachments and just see which one you prefer and which one you can control the recoil best with, because that is how you're actually going to get good at Siege, personally. That's what I think, just because if you can't control the recoil of a gun, then there's no way that you'll be able to track or flick very good, as your recoil will be like all the way up here, or you'll be tracking and say you'll be like above the head because you can't control it and you don't know how much to pull down. So yeah, that's all I really got to say. Just do the things that I've shown you, like stand 15 meters away, just go back by 5 meters every single time, and just try your best to control the recoil further and further back. The further back you go, the harder it is to control, but then the more likely it will simulate a real match, as you probably will be 20 to 15 meters away your target or your enemy in an actual match. The third thing that I would like to go over is you need to stop thinking all the other people in the lobby care about your skill. Most people don't care and they're all just there to play Siege, but a lot of people overthink about what other people in the game think about them, and they get into their own head that a lot of people in that lobby just think that they are atrocious because of maybe one whiff that they did, and in turn they'll play worse for the rest of the match, maybe for the rest of the day. I don't know how it personally affects like everyone else. What I like to do though is just mute the chat, especially the opposite team, as most of the time they're highly toxic, just to try and get into your head and make you play worse. So mute them. I like to play music in the background as well, like calming music or just music that you're into, as then it kind of just helps me mentally like reset and just be able to carry on playing as I was. The last thing that I would like to go over is you need to sprint less, as a lot of people when they first pick up the game, or even if they don't, sometimes it's just a bad habit. If you have been playing COD or like games like that recently where you just run in, try and get as many kills as possible, and then you just respawn. This game is just nothing like that. Siege is a very slow paced game, and a lot of people run around the map and they'll run into someone else and they'll die and they'll just think that it's bullshit or something, when really it's just you, and you need to stop sprinting around the map as much, as it does make a lot of noise depending on what up you are. It makes more noise if you're a 3 armor than if you're a 1 armor, but it still makes noise if you're a 1 armor. And what a lot of people do is they'll be running around the map and someone will shoot them through the wall or be holding an angle that they'll know they'll cross by, and they'll instantly call this person a hacker, when for some reason their mind just doesn't think, I'm running, it makes a lot of sound, they can probably hear me because they have headphones in, they might have earphones. Basically they just have something that you can hear with, like hear the game audio with. So that's what you need to do. You can unbind the spring key altogether, which I wouldn't really recommend, but if it's that much of a problem then I would. Or you can assign it to a key where it's harder to press so that you don't do it as much, just because it's like when you get into the higher levels of Siege, it's you need to walk around a lot less. Now a lot of people will just hide in corners, which is the main reason why you need to just stop sprinting, because you don't know when you're going to run into someone, especially when you're in the lower ranks. You don't know where random people will be hiding. So with that all said, that has been today's video. If you found this video helpful in any way, shape or form, leave a like. 5 likes on this video would just be absolutely amazing. Also subscribe, as we're currently on the road to 25 subscribers, so that would be absolutely amazing if we could hit that by the end of the year. So I've been Accept, and peace.